Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to first look at Arsenal chief Edu already having perfect £20 million transfer solution if Martin Odegaard snubs Gunners' move. And then we're going to look at Arsenal chief's confident of £40 million deal as Mikel Arteta oversees transfer audition. So the first transfer headline states that Arsenal chief Edu has perfect £20 million transfer solution if Martin Odegaard snubs Gunners' move. So the reports are stating that Arsenal could benefit from bringing one of their former stars back to the Emirates Stadium if Martin Odegaard opts to stay at Real Madrid this summer. Arsenal director Edu looks to be gearing up for a particularly busy summer transfer window, with Mikel Arteta expected to lead a radical overhaul of his playing squad ahead of next season. A number of players are set to leave the Gunners in the coming months, including the likes of Sead Kolasinac, Willian and Lucas Torreira, who will all need replacing with better alternatives in order to build on this season's disappointments. Lonely pair Dani Ceballos and Martin Odegaard will also return to Real Madrid at the end of the campaign, but the latter's future appears to be open to manipulation. Arsenal are very interested in turning the Norwegian playmaker's temporary spell at the Emirates into a permanent one, with Mikel Arteta left hugely impressed by his leadership qualities and outright footballing ability. However, it remains to be seen whether Real will sanction Martin Odegaard's departure, especially if Zinedine Zidane is relieved of his managerial duties before the summer transfer window opens. If the Spanish Giants decide to keep hold of their man, it would send Arsenal back to the drawing board in order to address their dire need for creativity. Edu admitted back in November before the loan signing of Martin Odegaard the Gunners were desperate for a top-class number 10 capable of pulling the strings at the top of the pitch. Although the former Heerenveen man's departure would undoubtedly come as a crushing blow for Arsenal, it would not be the end of the world by any means. The North London club could also solve their creative problem by pursuing a move for one of their former players, with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain reportedly keen to seek a new challenge after 3.5 years at Liverpool. The Portsmouth-born utility man, who is more than capable of playing in the middle as well as on either flank, has endured a tough time at the Anfield club thanks to a number of debilitating injury setbacks and a subsequent lack of first-team action when fit. However, if the Gunners can nip ahead of the Bundesliga heavyweights and seal Oxlade-Chamberlain's signature, it could prove to be a masterstroke in seasons to come. Despite his lack of minutes for Liverpool this season, the 27-year-old has plenty to offer to a Premier League club, and a move back to Arsenal would be highly beneficial for all parties involved. He will be able to feature as a starter in his preferred position back at Arsenal, with Joe Willock capable of deputising when needed, providing Arteta with two solid options in terms of creativity. It would be a significant gamble, but we have to wait and see how this transfer pans out and if Arsenal will actually go with Oxlade-Chamberlain as a suitable alternative to Martin Odegaard. So this nicely takes us on to the second piece of transfer news, which states that Arsenal chiefs confident of £40 million deal as Mikel Arteta oversees transfer audition. So the reports are stating that the Gunners are rumoured to hold an interest in Yves Bissouma ahead of Sunday's clash with Brighton Hove Albion. Arsenal will play the final Premier League fixture of the 2020-2021 campaign on Sunday, and one of their opponents on the day could be taking part in an audition of sorts ahead of a summer switch. The Gunners are set to host Brighton and Hove Albion at the Emirates, with Yves Bissouma linked with a transfer move to a variety of different top clubs in England, including Arsenal. Liverpool and Manchester City are also rumoured to be interested in the service of the Mali midfielder, who seems to have evolved as a player over the course of the past 12 months. But is also more at the front of the queue, with our friends at the Daily Mail recently reporting that Arsenal are confident of landing Yves Bissouma, but only for a £30 million fee, and they are already aware that they may have to pay another big sum of midfielder, having spent £45 million on Thomas Partey last summer. Bissouma offers specific perks to dominant sides, hence the links with Liverpool and City, because of his qualities, and he would help Mikel Arteta's efforts to re-establish Arsenal as one of the English heavyweights. Still just 24 years old, he is the Seagulls midfielder, isn't particularly inclined to register goals and assists at the business end of the field, but he's very capable when it comes to governing the midfield third. Bissouma, who is rumoured to be available for around £40 million, contributes to Brighton's ability to sustain pressure by recovering loose balls often and showcasing his press-resistant ability in possession, with opponents generally struggling to dispossess him. On top of his obvious quality, Bissouma rarely suffers from setbacks. He has picked up just 2 injuries since moving to England, and he started 34 of Brighton's 37 Premier League games this season. Dani Ceballos' future at the Emirates remains uncertain, but if he was to depart on a permanent basis, adding Bissouma, who's perhaps a better all-rounder, would be a solid solution. The loan move made by the Spaniard from Real Madrid captures Arsenal's problem over the past few years, as the club have been too inclined to plug gaps using short-term fixes. Even Bissouma's signature would be a step in the right direction, as it offered long-term prospects while also helping to instill Mikel Arteta's brand of football. So in terms of Yves Bissouma, he is someone that is just 24 years old, and he is the Seagulls midfielder that isn't particularly inclined to register goals and assists at the business end of the field, but he is someone that is very capable of governing the middle third. He is also someone that can sustain pressure, as mentioned before, and he is also someone with only 3 central midfielders that have completed more dribbles than him in England's top flight this season, with the Malian international able to escape tight situations while retaining possession. He possesses offensive qualities but ultimately thrives as part of a safety net, allowing his teammates to take risks around him while he remains efficient in the centre of the park. So in terms of Mikel Arteta, he has a very confident risk taker, so you have to wait and see how this transfer pans out. But other than that, guys, remain blessed. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace.